I know you're excited now because either you would not have come across this particular quadrants matrix so far, or even if you had come across this in the past, this would have had or this would have been making more sense to you right now. Well, I will not leave you here. I will take you further deeper into the effective time management techniques. Well, you might say now that, hey, you know what? It's all great. It's all fantastic. It's all superb, but I don't have time. I don't even have time to make this particular quadrant. Forget about following that quadrant. Or you might always say that, hey, I have so many things in my mind to do, but it looks like I always run out of time. Or you can always say that, hey, you know what? My task list is so long, but end of the day, I end up doing nothing. Well, I know that you are able to connect with either all of the statements or some of the statements that I just made right now. But at this point of time, I'm going to reveal something very interesting to you that will kind of open up your eyes. Are you ready for it? Look at this. This is the weekly estimate that I have built for you to understand more in detail on what points we have just discussed. Overall, in a week, we have 168 hours. On an average, as we sleep between 6 to 8 hours a day, probably I have allocated 49 hours for sleeping. And then we have daily tasks such as brushing, right? And then getting ready to the work, food and everything, all put together roughly 2.5 hours a day, which comes to 17.5 hours. If there are students here, probably I've taken your classes, and if there are people who are working, your commuting and your work together, I've taken it to be around 50 hours per week. And then the other reading activities or other miscellaneous activities is roughly how it looks like. Now, when you sum up all of these and subtract this from the 168 hours, you know what you're left with? You're left with almost 2 days of time. Well, I know that this is both revealing and surprising to you, but this is how it is. This is the reality. Even if you were to put in certain numbers, which I would have missed to put it for you, I'm sure you will be left with at least more than 24 hours a day at your disposal to do whatever you want. So my friends, it is a myth when people say that I am busy. It is not that they are busy, but it is that they are not able to effectively manage their time.